it's just too detached, or there's new people coming in, or there's a new game, and there's no like, people like to watch you suffer. They like to watch one person do 24 hours. They like to watch them get sick, like not have enough food, not have enough water, start to go a bit crazy, like start hating the games they play, that sort of stuff. And what's happened, I think, is that we started with 24 hours, we then did 50 hours the next year with our like Australian, American, and UK offices. We spread it out. And we did 72, and when we did the 72 year, we involved so many people that we actually earned less, we gathered less that year than we did the previous year, because there was just like too much stuff going on. There's too many narratives, too many games. And we also didn't involve people in the proper way, like get them to vote on the games that are coming up next. Say, no, don't play something else, play this one longer. So we learned a lot from that, and then last year we did 100 hours, which was basically two individual 24-hour stints, and then the Australian team, which is a small team, do 24, and then the US team sort of mixing it up a little bit in the middle. And we got back on that track. We were more successful than the previous years all over again. So I think that was a big balancing act for us, where it's, as the thing is, right, 4 or 5 years ago when a lot of us were doing this, not many people were doing this. And a lot of people are doing this now. And in the end, it doesn't really matter who gets, as long as it's going to charity, it's a very important thing. But there is a reality that you're also like working against other people, or at least the audience now has a perception of what they want from a live stream, or the quality they expect from a live stream. So you do have to like manage that production a little bit better. And I think what we learned, specifically what I learned 2 years ago, was that you can sort of over-engineer these things. But as long as you have somebody who's personable, who's being honest and trying to raise that charity, and that the audience is connected to it, then you're on to a winner.
Absolutely. Now, Vernon, I mean, what have you kind of learned in your dealings with this and kind of finding things out? Have you found a sweet spot also kind of in the streaming space?
When Kidnerf first started, we were using Ustream, and then I think Justin TV, and to Twitch's credit, it has become this phenomenal platform for charity, and like working with them every year to make Kidnerf as big as possible has been a really easy and simple treat. And like as the technology gets better, it gets easier to stream and easier to raise money, and there's so many cool platforms that help you to streamline. I remember one year we had to do donations through a WordPress site that we created, and I didn't know how to program at all. My older brother didn't know how to program at all, and he learned PHP so that people could donate to Scared to Care. And this year was the first year we used Twitch alerts, and it was the easiest, pressing maybe 3 buttons. So it's never been easier to do charity streams, to do streams, or help people. So there's such a small barrier to entry if you want to help other people.
Absolutely. And speaking on that, there's a lot that the fans can do. We'll touch on that, and people that are trying to do more in the video space. You guys are obviously front runners in doing a lot of these things, in gaming for good, in charity gaming streams. What would you love to see, Mark, I could ask you first, what would you love to see from the gaming community at large? Other than Smosh Games, we've actually done stuff with Scared to Care, we've done stuff with you guys. What would you like to see in the gaming community? Would you like to see it blow up in a certain way? Does it make sense to have more people involved in tight niche organizations like this, or as many as possible?
Are you talking like the gaming industry as a whole having a direct involvement?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, I think that would be good. It's just hard to execute that because, I mean, admittedly, we love the fact that you guys are so supportive of charitable causes, but admittedly, some people just want to play games and play games. Some people, couldn't care less about charity, and that's totally fine. We get it. It's the thing you have to be directly involved in, so it'd be a fine line to walk to see where it happens. But I think we can all agree that more than just charitable donations, simple awareness is more valuable than just the dollar amount. People knowing about an issue, because there's some charities that I've done in the past that were for very, very small issues that even I didn't realize how big of a problem it was. And then when we actually raised awareness, there were so many people that sent me emails, tweeted at me my goodness, my cousin has this, or my family member has this. I didn't know it affected so many people out there, and I'm going to spread the word about it. So if there was going to be some direct involvement that exposes it to the gaming community as a whole, I would want it to be something along those lines of having like just awareness rather than asking something out of the audience.
Sure, sure. Now, in terms of kind of our peers and everybody here, would you say, like, for example, Smosh Games got involved with Prank It Forward, where we would go out to a charity, we would go out to someone in need and do something with them or for them and kind of bring awareness to this situation? Do you feel like there's, obviously awareness is awareness, but would you say to the audience there's more weight in something like a live stream that can bring a tight group around 48, 52, 72 hours, or something like a campaign that can run all year long, that can be a video process that people can kind of take in as their own? Would you say it's kind of more focused in the tight 48 hours, or what do you think?
That was a lot of
That was a lot of things. That's a lot of questions.
my head around
So
everything.
basically, my question is, I mean, you guys focus very heavily on gaming for good in a live streaming capacity. Does it have more elevation? Does it have more kind of oomph, if you will, to do a live stream, or does it make more sense to all of the creators out there to do more awareness and just kind of grassroots creating content on a regular basis, like people do? Because sometimes streaming might be a little more difficult than somebody doing a vlog or somebody making more content that way.
I say it's different flavors of the same thing because, like, I could make a YouTube video and it would reach over 1 million people and then there'd be a lot of people. But then with a live stream, there's that intimacy factor, so you may not have as many viewers on at one time. So I generally think just more is better. Like, there's many different avenues of having it possible. Like, I wouldn't detract one from the other because it used to be telethons. People would call in, please donate to our cause. Here's our big money banner and stuff like that. And this is just like an efficiency equation. Live streaming with like one person can do so much more than an entire TV studio. And that's not to discredit what you guys do. Like, it's just like, the easier it is, the better. Always.
It used to be you have to like knock on doors.
Yeah,
Like, now they're knocking on your doors.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Now, for everybody here, I mean, I'm sure everyone is very aware of all the different causes and all the different live streams that we've done. What advice would you give anyone out there, either be that they be audience members or creators on their own, that they can go out and kind of execute on this tomorrow?
Everybody should do stuff for charity. Like never think that you're too small to help, or never think that you're, like there's a size issue. I think Extra Life is doing a really cool thing out in the space where they're empowering other people to do their own live streams for Extra Life, and they're seeing an entire community being built out of that. I think that's just so random. It's really amazing to see how much power one individual can have. And like when we're doing the stuff that we have, it's hard to put that many faces to that number of people watching, the number of people donating, or the amount of people you donate. But for someone to send me an email and say, hey, you inspired me to start working with charity, that like nothing gets me more happy or more excited than that, to see that we're just spreading the need to help other people out there too, as many people as possible. And I hope you guys, after seeing a lot of this charity work that we're all doing, take that and do your own thing with it and help as many people as you can, because it is a scary world out there, and man, if you can just help one other person, it just feels amazing. Everyone should get that feeling.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different avenues for doing this type of work now, and a lot of them are quite large. Like we talked about Extra Life, I talked about Extra Life a lot, and that's something that like hundreds and thousands of people get involved every year. And when you do that sort of stuff, I mean, charity is worth the effort on its own, but you can feel like you may be getting lost in the shuffle. I mean, if somebody else is, raising tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and you maybe got like $500 or $200 or $1,000, it can feel like maybe you're not contributing, even though you're like, it's incredible. It's money that would not have, appeared any other way. So what I'd suggest actually is, if you can, charity starts at home, starts in your community. If there are local charities that you can get involved in fundraising, a lot of those aren't exposed to what we're doing. A lot of charities are inside of gaming, and there's this, gamers are just the most giving people. Like the type of money we're talking about here is insane, and it doesn't happen in other areas. But if you get involved in a local charity and do that, I mean, we did one 2 years ago for Project Open Hand, which is a very important charity in the Bay Area which tries to feed people. I mean, there's a massive economic disparity, right, in San Francisco. This one tries to provide meals for sort of homeless and the elderly. And I just did a stream where I called it the Half-Life Half Marathon. I played all the Half-Life games on a live stream and then did a half marathon. Like, I'm not a fit person, so it was a nightmare. but we raised like $12,000 just off this. And the charity was like, they called me up and they were like, what the hell is Half-Life? Because like it kept going up on their like, you know, on their leaderboard, and we were, I think, the highest or second highest overall, and like the rest of them were like celebrities. Like, what the hell is this? Like, why are video games raising money for homeless people and people who need food? And I ended up like going on like giant stadium onto the field and holding a big check and doing all this stuff because they never got exposed to that sort of stuff. So it may seem like there's charity happening everywhere. There are so many charities in need which are not exposed to the, you know, unbelievably charitable audience that a lot of you folks have access to. So I suggest that, you know, start with those very needy charities and yeah, like boost their stigma.
Mark? Me also? I mean, basically everything that I wanted to say was already said, so I don't know what I could add to it. There was one other thought that I had is, like, money is one thing, and definitely a lot of charities do need money, but I recently did a charity stream where I didn't raise any money. I made a very point that we weren't doing donations. I was actively getting people to I was actively encouraging people to sign up for local volunteering efforts. Wow. Because in every single community, no matter where you live, there's an opportunity to volunteer. You can even donate blood, and that helps out immensely. Like, if you don't, and I know, and the reason I did this is because I felt so bad constantly asking you guys to donate, and I was like, oh man, I know times are tough for some people, and some people are very struggling to get by, and you know, some people tell me like, oh, I wish I could donate, but I need to pay rent this month, and that breaks my heart, and because they want to help, but they can't help. So, in my opinion, if you can't donate money, then almost everybody is in the situation where they can donate a ton. And in many cases, that can help so much more than just making a monetary. That's all I said. Think of the other options to have.
Yep, if there's not money, there's definitely time, and it's just bringing awareness. Honestly, that's kind of the thing that ties everything together here. I think we have time for Q&A. If you guys have some questions from regarding gaming for good, do we have a microphone out there?
Yeah, what's the best way to do this?
Yeah. Everyone scream at once.
Yeah, just yell.
Wow.
We figured it out. The lady with the red hair right here? Yeah.
Wait, it's coming for you.
It's coming right to you.
Yeah, save your vocal cords.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Emily.
Hi, Emily.
So this question is for Mark.
I heard that, yeah? All right.
But it could be for all of you. I'm just wondering, for someone who's starting out with their own YouTube channel from scratch, what advice would you have for not getting overwhelmed by everything that's out there?
Overwhelmed by the amount of competition, in a way?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the strangest thing, because 4 years ago when I started, I thought there was too much competition then. Now it's so easy for everybody to do this. There are some, you know, iPhone apps that have a built-in face cam thing so you can record right on your phone. So it's very hard for me to come up here and say there's an easy 1, 2, 3 step recipe to do it. Like, the only thing that I could ever say is, if you want to do something, you have to be fully committed to do it. You can't half-ass anything. I'm sorry for cursing, but you can't halfway do anything. You have to be fully committed, and you have to be willing to take a chance at looking stupid. Because when I think of the early sketches that I did, like the one where I put peanut butter on my face and run out, it's so stupid. It's so stupid, and people still remember it to this day. So be willing to look stupid, but don't try to be stupid. Thank you. Honestly, I don't think I could give advice. Just be you and be honest to yourself and take a chance. That's all I can say.
100%? I see a glove. It's standing out. Let's go with the glove. Ooh. You're the glove.
Fingerless.
Hi, my name is Naya.
Naya?
Hey, Naya.
So, what would you think about getting popular on YouTube? What would the population most want in a video that gets you popular, I guess?
That's Steven's thought.
And I feed people on that recently to review video games. It's really kind of weird what people want. maybe don't listen to what people want, because you'll have me. We just hurt my friends.
like look at the Venn diagrams, go like, you know, there's this massive underserved market of people eating peppers while reviewing videos.
Kind of, yeah. It's like, oh man.
There's a lot of
Like, there's a lot of people eating hot peppers on the internet. No one's doing it for video games. Fill the market. Find a niche market that people need serving and go fill that. Mine was hot peppers. Sorry. I don't know.
Mark, I crawled to the bottom of the abyss and I found Forrest Burns.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vernon. just get rid of him. He's okay. I have a giant one at my mom's house. He's smaller. They sent me a huge one. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's very scary. Turn the corners up.
Okay.
Thank you.
See orange tank top? The lady in the orange tank top?
So, I'm an old timer here, very new to this world. I have a 501c3. How does someone like me get to someone like you to help my cause?
For those who don't know, that's a non-profit organization, right?
Thank you. Yes, a non-profit, yes.
They kind of just did.
Yeah. Tell us what it is.
The agency is called healgrief.org, and especially
Everyone write that down.
healgrief.org.
Go there right now.
And especially of like what happened down in Orlando and with what we're facing with San Bernardino, we are a 501c3 that provides a social media network for those that are bereaved, those that are grieving the death of someone they love. We're the go-to place for the moment a loved one dies, where people can be notified throughout the world, because we all know that geography no longer has boundaries when it comes to community.
Yeah.
So how do I more directly reach out to you with more information to see if it's something that is a passion that we can both...
I imagine if you're social media, you have a Twitter, right?
Yes.
I will look you up on Twitter. I will message you as soon as it's done, okay?
As will do.
Thank you.
And also, sort of, to that effect, I think it's really, I feel like you're doing the right thing in being a place just full of creators like VidCon and meeting everyone you can. There's sort of a networking aspect to like meeting content creators, meeting community members to find where a charity can fit into a content creator. I think it's an amazing thing that you're here to network with everyone here. So if what you said spoke to you guys, please find this lady and get to know her and talk to her and see if you can help her out. She's literally right there. She's wearing one.
And I will say, working with a company like Smosh Games, a lot of influencers and YouTubers on their YouTube page, some of the business emails, a lot of people don't think they do, but those do get checked and they do get seen by people. So if you see an email like that, put your cause, put reach out, put stuff like that in there. There is someone that looks at it, and there are people that reach out. Specifically for my company, I can speak to that stuff. Things like that. Thank you very much. Thank you. More questions? I see a bearded gentleman right here. I'm just going to make it really tough.
Yeah.
And we Benny Hill.
Yeah, why don't we have a soundtrack?
We should have a soundtrack. I'll just play something on my phone.
Vernon, sing!
Sing, Vernon!
Thank you, charity, because it makes me feel nice.
That's great. That was great. Look at it. He's got the microphone. It's like Comcast. Go ahead.
How you doing, guys?
Hey.
First I had, by the way, sorry, name's Nathan Johnson.
Hi, Nathan Johnston.
Hi, Nathan. Good. We'll work on it.
No, but anyways, started a new gaming channel. It's called No Dance in the Dungeon, if anyone's interested. But one thing I wanted to ask really is kind of pertaining to any of you guys up there. I guess what I wanted to ask is, when it comes to donating for charity, obviously you can do that at any point, but depending on the kind of jobs you have, time, things like that. I guess what I want to ask is, at what point, and I kind of want to hear from all of you, at what point did you realize you can noticeably start making a difference? If that makes any sense.
From zero.
Yeah.
If you have 0 followers on any social media, you can still do something because things like this can be about the idea. Like Danny's Half-Life Half Marathon thing is something, if you didn't know Danny, if you didn't know GameSpot, if you didn't know anything that the gentleman did, that's still hilarious. So there's power to the idea, especially when it comes to charity.
Yeah, I mean, charity matters no matter what it is. If it's, giving somebody a few bucks on the side of the street, like, meaningful difference, it's not quantifiable. It's meaningful no matter what. So, yeah, like, I certainly think that from $0 to $5, that, like, immediately you feel like you're making a difference. And it's a type of thing that's, like, addictive. Like, you keep wanting to do it because it pays you back in space.
Yeah, the same thing as they said. It's often hard to notice a difference because when someone's raising $1 million and it's like, wow, that's so much good. What's the difference that a couple hundred that I could raise, or even $20? Like my neighbor donated $20. Like that's not gonna make a difference, but it does because that $1 million is made up of individual parts of those donations. And like that's the same thing. When people like artists and stuff, they compare themselves to those that are like already years in practice, and it's like, oh, what's the point of me practicing art? And it's like, well, they were where you were, but they just kept going. So you just gotta like get small. Woo! You gotta get small victories everywhere you go. So just little incremental increments.
And like we've been saying, it isn't necessarily about money, but it's about time and awareness. I mean, if you can affect one person and bring awareness to that person, you're doing something, and that's important. Awesome, thank you. Let's go over here. I see.
What is that booping? Everyone here is wondering. Flashbacks to high school.
I see right here, purple sleeves, maroon sleeves, right behind you. Right there, hand up. Right there, she's got a wristband. Right there, there it is. Yeah. We did that together. Yeah, that was teamwork.
Hi, my name is Sapphire.
Hi.
Okay, I wanted to know how or like where did you figure out or like learn how to edit videos? Because I can't edit.
I can't either, don't worry.
I'm an editor by trade, so I'll take that one first. Practice. Like, get a piece of software. It does not matter if you can't afford Adobe Premiere or something like that. Like, don't worry about it. There's always some free alternative. I think I started on like a cracked version of Video Vegas or something.
Yeah.
Making Counter-Strike like videos with like the sickest kills, all sped up to like some Slipknot or something. I mean, just like work on something that you enjoy and practice. Like, there's nothing that'll get you better at editing than practice. Working on different projects. And I mean, to be honest, like right now the barrier to entry for Premiere is pretty good. Like Adobe Cloud, you can register on a monthly and get in there. Or watch YouTube tutorials. Just get in there and do it. You know what I mean? But no, you don't need to go to college to learn how to edit video. As somebody who went to college to learn how to edit video, like just trust me on that. Just practice and enjoy it, and it'll come naturally to you.
Yeah, it really helps to put yourself into situations where you're really stupid. Okay, so what I did, the way I learned how to edit was I agreed to edit things saying that I could edit, and then would have to learn how to in the process. I took an actual pay job once, and they were like, hey, you know how to do like green screen work in After Effects? I was like, yeah! And then fast forward to me learning all of After Effects overnight. So don't be me. Sorry.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. For more videos, click on the screen and visit my website for cool merchandise.